What's going on, everybody? Lil Disnick here with another tutorial for you. It's been a minute, but I'm back with the tutorials. Today we're going to be looking at how to reskin a car in GTA 5. Mostly focused on how to reskin it and load it into your FiveM server. So if you have a FiveM server and you want to get some custom cars, this is the tutorial for you. So yeah, I'm not going to talk much more here. I'm just going to get kind of straight into it. So here we go. The main things that you're going to need in order to be able to reskin your cars are going to be number one, you're going to need a vehicle model that comes with a template. You're going to need some form of photo editing software that's actually able to work in layers. I use Photoshop, but you can also use GIMP. I'll link down to GIMP down in the description down here, but we're going to be using Photoshop for the purposes of this tutorial because that is the software that I am used to. And also you're going to need OpenIV, and I went ahead, I used to have, well, I have had OpenIV loaded onto my computer, but I went ahead and uninstalled it so I can go through the entire download and install process with you guys and kind of walk you through step by step how you're going to want to be able to do that. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to open up our browser here and we're going to go to find OpenIV and GTA 5 mods. I will link it down in the description so we don't have to do a whole bunch of Googling and stuff. We're going to go ahead and download that little guy. And yeah, we're already done. It's a very small program. We're going to open that little guy up. We're going to select English, and let's go ahead and close or continue here. Alright, so we're going to accept our terms of agreement and install the OpenIV to this computer, create a desktop icon. Everything looks good there. We're just going to go with the default options, and it's going to go ahead and download and install that really quick here. Alright, so we've installed OpenIV. We're going to close out of that. You can see that it is giving us a little desktop icon here. We're going to go ahead and open that up and go to our Windows version of Grand Theft Auto 5. Now this is the part I wanted to show you guys. You have to actually specify your Grand Theft Auto 5 location. Now I bought the retail version of it, so mine is going to be in program files, and we're just looking for the Grand Theft Auto 5 root folder. Nothing past that. So in my particular case here, we're going to go to the C drive, program files, and then we're going to go ahead and go down to Rockstar Games in Grand Theft Auto 5. Simple as that. We're going to select that folder. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you the file path very slowly here that you would want to go if you have the Steam version. Let's go ahead and let's go back to Browse. We're going to go to our C drive and program files x86. We're going to go down to Steam. Scroll down here, we're going to find Steam Apps, Common, and then you'll see your GTA 5 folder in this particular folder right here. But since I've got the regular retail version of it, we're just going to go ahead and go to Rockstar Games, Grand Theft Auto 5, select that baby back, and then we're going to hit continue. And we're not going to worry about backing up the original files because we're not really going to be working with anything that's original here. We're going to wait for it to search for an encryption key and launch the software. Alright, so we've got our GTA 5 root folder right here, and as you can see there's a folder here that says car projects. I actually made that folder. Let's go ahead, we're going to delete that. First thing that you have to do in order to edit anything in the file structure or manipulating these files over here is to turn on edit mode at the top, and it's going to ask if you want to continue. We're going to click yes, and let's go ahead and let's delete that folder if we can. Okay, it's not going to let me do it. Oh well. Maybe no. Okay. So what we would do in this case, we would right click. Actually, we would go new folder and then name it car projects, and it's going to put it in our GTA 5 folder here. Your game is never going to read this folder, so it's just fine. It's not going to hurt anything. It's not going to get you banned on GTA Online, anything like that. We're just making a folder that's by itself away from everything else so that we're not actually messing with anything the GTA needs in order to run in its original form. So we go ahead and open up our car projects here, and you can see that I've already got a couple of files in here. We're going to delete those. And as I said before, you're going to want to have a templated version of a car. We're going to do a 2020 Tahoe here. We're going to open up that zip file, and let's go ahead and just extract this out to the desktop so we don't have to mess with that guy anymore. We're going to open this up, and there are generally a few different ways that vehicles will come from a download that are templated. Sometimes they'll be set up with your file structure like this. So this first file right here, or first folder right here, is going to be your actual vehicle assets. This is going to have your car codes and car variations and all the meta files that it needs there. And we're going to be looking in the stream folder, and this is where we're going to be manipulating these files here. Really the only way we're going to be manipulating is the YTD file. That's going to be your texture files. That's going to, you know, paint jobs, anything like that. All of your textures that you find on the cars. Your YFT is actually a fragment file, and that's going to be the 3D model itself. So we're going to be using both of these, but we're going to be editing the YTD. So let's go ahead while we're in here. Let's click and drag both of these files over into OpenIV for manipulation here later. Then we're going to go back out to our template folder. We're going to see that there is a PNG file that says Tahoe PPV signed 1. Now, it's going to be very important that we don't change the name of this, because this is actually what it's going to need to be named whenever we go to throw it in there. But let's go ahead and let's drag this into Photoshop here. All right. Happy times, happy times. So what we've got here is we've got our Tahoe template with all the different parts. We've got the driver's side, the passenger side, the rear like lift gate, the rear bumper, hood, top, all that stuff. So we're going to be doing a very, very simple. I'm just going to throw a logo on it and put a color on it, and we're going to put it in OpenIV, and I'm going to let you guys see just how easy this is. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to open up our, let's see here, get our WWCRP logo here. Alright, we're just going to take this little guy, and we're going to drag it into our Tahoe folder here. It's going to be pretty big. Let's go ahead and scale that little dude down. And I mean, like I said, it doesn't have to be pretty. I'm just kind of showing you guys how this works. So let's put that on the front door. And just so we get the same sizes and things like that and everything kind of matches up nicely, we're going to go ahead and duplicate that layer. And just drag that baby down to the other door down here. And we're going to try to get it as lined up as we possibly can. Get it pretty close to the same here. Now, one cool thing about these templates is there are guidelines to kind of go by. So you can kind of see where you're at. Looks like we're on the line that goes from about the middle of the door, or door handle right there, line that goes about the middle of the door handle right there. And we're about the same distance from that solid line there, so we're good. And just for shits and giggles, let's throw a text layer on there. You can really throw anything that you want to on here. Any type of, like, you know, like I said, a text. You can do word art from Microsoft Word, which I might even do a tutorial on that sometime. So let's go ahead and scale that up a little bit. And we're just gonna throw little Diznick. Let's get that lined up like we like it. And let's make that let's have a little bit of fun with this font, huh? I feel like Bob Ross here. Let's paint a happy tree on the back of this truck. So let's find us a cool kind of a script font that looks like it's a signature. I don't really like that one. Let's just go with like the Rage Italic. That looks pretty neat. So that's black right now. We'll go ahead and we're gonna change that color, that font, to red. Like I said, this isn't gonna be pretty by any means. This is purely for function only. And let's go ahead and duplicate the little Diznick layer also, so everything matches up nicely. And we'll just go back to our move tool here. We're gonna move it down this little guy here. Kind of get it about the same on this. It looks like we're on the second to the rear line there. And maybe just a little bit up. Yeah, that works. No, actually we're maybe a little bit down. Anyways, like I said, not going to be pretty. Now we'd be able to put logos on any other parts that we wanted to. If we wanted to put like pinstripes on the hood, we could do that. Another logo on the tailgate. And actually, let's do that real quick. So let's duplicate this layer again, just so we don't have to mess with dragging it back in. And oh, go ahead and undo that so it'll back in the same place. I think we duplicated that one. Yeah. So let's just put that little guy there. Transform him. We're happy. Looks good to me. Alright, so we've got all our WWCRP, little Diznick, all that good stuff on the sides. All that we have to do at this point is I want to paint this car, say, a solid color. Now, one very important thing to know about the templates themselves, if it's in, say, this black area right here that's outside of the area, it's not going to show up on the rest of the car. And I'll give you guys an example of this. Let's go ahead and do our marquee tool. And let's just isolate the hood here. Get it nice and square. And then let's do a paint bucket fill with just the color white right in there. So that'll make us have a white hood. Alright. And then let's go ahead and... yeah. So the rest of this we're going to make a solid color. So to do that, we'll just make a new layer. We're going to drag that down just above our layer 1 for the template right there. And then we're going to make sure that that layer's selected. Switch ourselves back to black. And let's select our marquee tool there. And let's go ahead and just fill that baby in. So as you can see, all of the layers that we put on top of the doors are going to be just right there above it. We've got our white hood right there. So we're happy with that. We're going to go ahead, we're going to save this as Tahoe PPV San Juan. Okay, but we're going to have to save it as a PNG file. Alright, well, let's not save it in that folder. Let's do desktop, do completed templates, and we'll just throw this in this completed templates file or folder here, just so we don't overwrite our original template. We're not going to want to change this at all. You can change it. Let's say you want to do multiple liveries. Let's say you have several different cars that you want to do for different officers or something like that. Then you can just name these sign 1, sign 2, sign 3, just changing the 1 to a 2 to a 3, and on like that. But for this, we're just going to do the one template. Let's go ahead and save that little dude. your large file size. And we're going to minimize that little dude. And let's go ahead and minimize that. Now the next thing that we're going to have to do is we're actually going to have to put that texture onto the Tahoe. So to do that, we're going to open IV here. We're going to double click on our YTD. Get out of that there. We're going to find the Tahoe Sign 1. So let's just do a search for sign. Boom, type Tahoe PPV Sign 1. So let's go ahead. We're going to delete that. And import. We're going to go to our desktop. The completed templates, I think, yeah, there we go. Completed templates, Tahoe PPV Sign 1, named the same exact thing there. And now the reason that it is very important that you name that PNG file exactly like that is that's going to be the texture that the vehicle model is going to be looking for to cover itself in. So if you change it in any way, then it's going to completely break your model. So always make sure to name it exactly that. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to make sure that automatically generate map levels is checked and the texture format compression is set to automatic. We're going to click OK. And then we'll be able to see, we type in sign again, our Tahoe PPV Sign 1 is loaded in there. You can barely see it because it is a huge template. But after we do that, we're just going to head and we're going to click save. And that's going to save that template, or that's going to save that that texture to that YTD file. Now the reason that I had you guys do the YFT file in there is because you can actually preview your vehicle before you even get it into server. So let's go ahead and we're going to open up our fragment object, and you can see there that we've got our white hood looking nice, Kind of looks a little ghetto in here because of the way that it draws in the textures, but you'll see here in just a second whenever we load this bad boy into the server that it's going to look just fine. It's going to look just fine. So we got Lil Disnick, we got the CRP. Everything looks like it's lining up nicely there. I think we might have went a little too high there, but we'll call that good. We're not going to get too terribly picky, but this is going to be our texture on the vehicle here. So all that we're going to have to do past that is we're going to open back up our 2020 Tahoe FFM folder. Go to our 20 Tahoe folder that has our data that we need in it. We're going to go to our stream folder. We're going to click the YTD and just drag that baby in there. It's going to ask if we want to copy and replace. We're going to click that. And then boom, that car is ready to load into a server. So I will be right back. I'm going to load this onto the server computer, and then you guys will get to see what this looks like in server. Alright, so at this point we're going to be loading the vehicle into the server. As I said, all that we're going to be loading from this root folder of the 2020 Tahoe FFM is the 20 Tahoe resource right here. And if there's any doubt, it's going to be the one that has a stream folder and a resource.lua in there. So just look for that one, and that's going to be the one that you're going to be loading in there. But we're going to load this into the WeWoo Crew 5PD server. And while we're on the subject of the 5PD server, it is publicly available. If you just do a search on FiveM for WWCRP, then you'll see the 5PD server on there. Or you can join WeWoo Crew and get in the DizCord in the link that I'll throw down in the description down there. But we're going to be in our 5PD folder here. We're going to go to server data and resources. Now I've actually got a folder just for cars. Now if you're going to have something that is has several different resources in it that you want to kind of keep isolated from everything else, all you have to do is just name the folder with the open and close brackets, and it'll be able to read those resources from inside that folder. But let's go ahead and click on our cars, and let's throw our 20 Tahoe in there. Alright, we're good to go there. And then all we have to do past that is to go into our TX admin dashboard here, which comes with all versions of FX server. We're going to go into our CFG editor, And we're going to go in, and I've actually already put this in here, but we'll just type in start 20 Tahoe. And we'll save that file. And if your server is already running, then we're just going to restart that little guy so it'll find that resource. Go ahead and restart the server here. We're going to wait for this to go from offline to partial and then online. It's going to take a little bit for it to load because I've got our server actually self-hosted on an old laptop of mine. But we're just waiting for this guy to start up. Then we'll hop into server real quick and we'll see our beautiful Chevy Tahoe we just made. Alright, so now we've got our server back online. Let's go ahead and minimize everything here. And let's hop into that bad boy right here. As I said, it's a publicly available server. So you guys are free to come in and play anytime that you want to. We would be glad to have you in here. I do all of my FivePD streams from inside this server, so if you want to come in and play with us, just click that DizCord link down at the bottom, or like I said, just search for WWCRP in the FiveM server browser, and you'll be able to find us easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Let's wait for FivePD to load up here. Hopefully, there we go. Look at it go. Alright, so we are in server, and let's go ahead and wait for my controller to sync back up. There we go. Alright, let's just run down here, and we're just gonna do a vehicle related options in our M menu here. Vehicle options. Well, dang it. Vehicle related options. Vehicle options. That didn't work. Well, luckily I have it saved in my favorite cars because these are actually, it's the same model that I use for my admin vehicles. I just kind of replaced the model in here for the purpose of this video, but let's go into our saved vehicles. Emergency, and we're going to pull up our admin Tahoe. Wait for that little guy to load in. There we go. Now, as you can see, we've got our white hood. We've got our logo on the side. Little Disney sporting that shit on the back fender. And we've got our WWCRP logo on the back. She's a little dirty. Let's go ahead and clean her up, shall we? Wash that bad boy. Alright, so yeah. But that is how you put a custom livery on a vehicle in FiveM. That's going to work with any vehicle that has a template with it. I cannot stress that enough. You have to have the template with it or nothing is going to line up. You can't go in and like extract one of the sign files or anything like that. Nothing's going to line up correctly. So always make sure you download one that is templated. Most of them will say it on the downloads. But until the next time, man, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Leave a like and subscribe if you would like to see more. I will see you guys on down the road. Peace.